Hello there, it's Jaymz Bee. Welcome to my podcast. Every Friday, I do one of these suckers. I'm going to tell you what's happening in Toronto in some of my favorite clubs. And in a little bit, I'll talk to Haynes, the jazz drummer, jazz educator, and one heck of a nice guy. He's going to talk about a music camp for kids this summer. And if you have kids and you want to get rid of them for a week, if you want them to grow and be nurtured and love music, or maybe a little of column A, a little of column B, you want to check this out. Right now, though, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank you. No, not you. You over there. Well, anyway, whoever donates at Patreon, they help me out a lot. $5 a month goes a long way. If you want to give me $5 a month so I can keep making these shows, what is that? That's like $1.50 per episode. That'd be nice. Anyway, just a thought. Also, barberfinancial.com. They've been around. They've been helping me out. If you have a question about finances, big or small, call Captain Paul. He's in Toronto for the summer, but he's available all the time because of this thing we call the internet. Also, a Barbarian Steakhouse. I'm so sorry I haven't been there in a few weeks. I'll get down there to eat some of your delicious food. They sponsor the show. They have amazing food, beautiful ambiance, and what a wine cellar. Okay, so there's that. Now, into the listings. HughesRoomLive.com. You go to HughesRoomLive.com and you're going to find out how to get tickets for two shows coming up tonight. It's Hunter Tones. Hunter Tones are from Brooklyn, originally from Ohio. It's like happy world music. It's super catchy. It's super positive. Rave reviews from critics, but also John Baptiste from The Colbert Show and Lionel Lewicki, a great musician. They are big fans of this band. Only $30 at the door tonight. And tomorrow is Ariana Gillis with a CD launch. Now, she has been around so long, it's hard to believe that she's still a kid. She started very young, a great singer-songwriter. Just came back from Nashville, and her album is called The Maze. So both of those acts tonight, tomorrow, HughesRoomLive.com. And by the way, next Thursday, if you're looking for something to do, Melanie is in town. She's got a brand new pair of roller skates, so bring your brand new key down to Hughes Room and hear this old-timey singer. She was at Woodstock, and now she's at Hughes Room Live. So check it out, HughesRoomLive.com. Cabaret series continues at the Jazz Bistro, and it has been a huge success. I was down there seeing some shows. It's jam-packed in there, and good luck. I think it's a great cabaret room, and they do a lot of real jazz, heavy jazz in there, but the cabaret stuff, I tell you, it's been jammed. Patricia Cano is there tonight with Thompson Highway, and Thompson Highway, one of the most lovable, wild, positive human beings I've ever met. Patricia Cano, an incredible singer and thespian. You put them together, they're doing songs in the key of Cree, and it features several songs from different plays from Thompson Highway. Some of them Cano has started. So Lana Bridgewater is there on Saturday. Marcus Nance and Barbara Fulton are there on Sunday. So it's the end of the cabaret series over there. Check it out at jazzbistro.ca. And at Lula Lounge tonight, Havana Club Friday, they have such good food. I've been going there like every Friday for the last few weeks. Giovanni Correa is performing. She is gorgeous, she is talented, and she is kind of opening. She does the early set, and then Rojitas and DJ Suave play till the wee hours. So it's going to be an incredible party there on Friday and on their Salsa Saturday. And what else do they have coming up? They have Luigi Luna. She is from Brazil. She's never performed at Lula Lounge before, so it's always cool to have someone come up from a faraway land, and I'm sure they're going to love the room, walk in and go, wow, this is an amazing venue. And Luanda Jones is opening for Luigi Luna, so that's a double treat right there. LulaLounge.ca for that. OldMillToronto.com for the Home Smith Bar shows. Usually they're free, 7:30 to 10:30. On this Friday, Saturday, tonight and tomorrow, there is a cover. It may be sold out, so go to TorontoJazz.com to double check and see if you can actually get tickets for tonight. Heather Bambrick is there tonight with Rennie Lee visiting from Montreal. Bit of a jazz legend there, and she is still on the top of her game. I love the way she sings some old Miles Davis songs. She's so punchy, and then she can be so romantic. So her and Heather Bambrick together, that's going to be a treat. And Broadsway is tomorrow with Diane Lee, Julie Michaels, and Heather Bambrick. So either way, check out TorontoJazz.com. While you're looking at Old Mill listings, take a look at all the stuff happening, because we've got just a few more days of that. And now, as promised, shoeless Joel Haynes. He's a jazz drummer. He's a jazz educator. He's played around the world. And he's also a drum teacher in Burlington. And now he's a part of the improvisational music camp. That's IMC. CampIMC.ca is where you'll get information. And so, you know what? Let's just talk to him. Shoeless Joel Haynes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice to see you. You are a drummer, Joel.
I am.
You're sponsored. Tell me, what is it about drumming that you love so much?
I love that feeling when you're in a good groove, when you're in a good band, you're playing a great tune, and other people are enjoying it also. I love that feeling. It's the only feeling I get naturally.
Right.
If you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so there's that. And also all the places it's taken me.
Around the world?
Yeah.
Any favorite places in Europe, in Asia? Is there something you really remember where you said, this is it?
The south of France. Monaco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I did a jazz festival in Monaco there.
Yeah.
Way back when. And also, I want to say, up north Canada, Whitehorse, Yellowknife. And
That's cool. That's exotic.
And the Caribbean, Barbados. Love Barbados.
Who was the drummer that got you going? What was the thing you heard, the record you heard, or the concert you witnessed where you went, that's my instrument?
Well, I'll go with the record first. Total cliche. Jimmy Cobb. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue.
Yeah.
I heard Jimmy Cobb's Ride Cymbal, and I was like, damn, I need to learn how to play like that. So that's me, Jimmy Cobb.
So you already liked the drums before that, but that's the record that said, I better get good.
That and Oscar Peterson's Night Train with Ed Thigpen.
Yeah.
And the first concert, I want to say Barry Elms at IMC when I went there back in I went to McGill in 89, so 86.
Yep.
Yeah. And I remember Barry Elms coming into the auditorium. He's carrying his drums. The band is playing, so he's late. He's plops down the bass drum, goes back, brings the snare and the hi-hat. Now he's taking his sweet time. And then all of a sudden, he just sits down and he just goes nuts, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Barry, you're amazing!"
He's one of my favorite composers too.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Drummers who compose. There's a lot of them.
I think I have that album.
Yeah, Red Shift is my favorite, but he's just got so many great records.
Yeah.
So we could be talking about drums the whole time, but I want to ask you about jazz education. When did you start? When did you figure out that you needed to share your knowledge with kids?
Probably when my kids were born. When Jackson and Emma were interested in drums. Jackson started when he was like 3 minutes old. And Emma's a great rock drummer. She's in an all-girl band called the Violet Femmes. Or sorry, the Violet Gems.
Right, play on words.
The Violent Femmes, the Violet Gems.
Yeah.
So yeah, when Jackson and Emma got on my drums and were hitting them, and I'm like, damn, they sound good for 1 and 2 years old. And then moving back from Montreal to Toronto, I started my own drum studio, and just word of mouth. And then kids just kept coming and coming.
Right, because your teaching is in your own studio that you've built to teach kids drums.
That's right. Yeah, in Burlington. Yeah.
Amazing.
And 2 years ago, I was up to 55 students. And they're all loving it. I was teaching some parents. And then I took a year off last year for some touring. And then I was back at it this year, and I just finished my recital. What do
your students do when you're away for a full year? What happens?
I passed them off to, do you know Adam Fielding? I passed some off to Adam Fielding.
Yeah.
And
who's in the same neighborhood, same neck of the woods?
Yeah, he's in Hamilton or Lancaster, I think.
Yeah.
And then some just took a year off. Some tried Lana McQuaid, some, did
here or there.
There, but surprisingly, they all came back.
It's pretty amazing. Now, I want to ask your memories of working with a few people before we get to the new education thing we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Russell Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you work with Russell Malone?
With Denzel Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was when Denzel was with Universal, and they were really pushing that second album. Russell was on it.
I hear somebody sneezing and hacking. I'm closing my door.
Yeah, so it was that. It was like a Southern Ontario tour, and we went up to Muskokas and Cottage Country and did that for one summer, and that was pretty amazing working with him.
And do you know what year? I'm trying to figure out what Denzel would have been singing back then.
What he
Like
what he would have
which
been
album maybe he was touring?
singing? He was touring. It was the one with "Follow You, Follow Me."
Right, so this is about maybe
Yeah.
15 years ago, right?
About that.
Yeah, maybe even 12, 15 years ago.
I
yeah.
remember playing "Follow You, Follow Me," and it's got the Vernal Fournier beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Russell was sitting with his back to me, and I started off, right? And then all of a sudden he went, "Nice feel, man."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Brr," you know.
Good to go now.
Yeah, good to go. I'm good.
And what about Seamus Blake? You recorded with Seamus Blake.
I did an album with Seamus. That was my second album. That was probably about 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was my second trio album, and Corey Weeds out west.
Mm-hmm.
I did it with Tilden Webb and Jody Prosnick, the married duo.
Yep.
And the first one I did, it was for my mom. She had passed away, and I got Denzel to sing Georgia on it, just the one tune. And then I was like, you know what? I need to do a full album. So went out west. I was playing a show out west, and I got Tilden and Jody. We did it cheap. We got studio granted to us from a friend, and we did a whole
It's
album.
a great album. That's good that it's
That's
inexpensive.
Yeah, that's the one that with the same groove with Blackbird.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
Blackbird's on that one, which Jazz FM plays all the time.
Exactly.
So thank you for my $3.85.
Yeah, right. You got your royalty. Woohoo!
Yeah. So long story short, Corey heard the first one, and then he said, "Let's do a second one, and let's have a special guest." And Seamus was in the area, and we did 3 nights live at the Cellar, and we used almost all first takes from the first night.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's killer.
Now, do you think there's something about that not overly rehearsed, or the thrill of like flying without a net?
Well, funny you should say that, because the tune that I wrote impressed me. We were playing, and was it impressed? No, it was the tune was it? Anyways, we were playing it. Seamus was reading it, and he played the head, passed the solo off to Tilden, passed off to a bass solo for Jody, and he started to play the head out. He forgot to solo, and then we're on a vamp at the end, and then he just starts blowing, and it was amazing. We just starts blowing, and then we do some sax drum trade stuff, and then we just
It's almost like a
finish it.
Keith Jarrett song where the
Yeah.
ending is longer than the song.
I was like, this is amazing. We didn't even talk about this, but it was just one of those amazing mistakes.
Is that something you teach kids? Is to embrace the mistakes?
Oh yeah, strong and wrong.
Right. Because improvisational is, you have to be fearless, right?
Yeah, especially in jazz music. You know, if something goes a little left field, you just go with that, and then hopefully you'll get back on track, and hopefully the audience loves what that did.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going into the IMC.
Yay!
Now, speaking of improvisation, a music camp that specializes in that.
Yes,
I understand this thing's been around since 1961?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
Wow.
And
So this is a music, can you describe this to people? It's a music camp for kids.
yeah, I believe you have to be either in grade school or high school.
All right, 8 to 18, I think it was, or 9 to 18 years of age.
I think so, yeah. Because I have a student that's 21 and he wants to go, but he can't go because you need to be in school.
Yeah.
But he's going to Humber in September, so that's great. I went there in '84 or '85, I think it was. That's when I saw Barry taking his drums on stage, and
Cool.
and it was when Phil Nimmons was doing it. So Barry Helms was my teacher, and then I believe the last 10 years it was Terry Promain. Ted Warren was the teacher, and so IMC has just kind of switched, wanting to have a new outlook, and I got the call.
Wow, yeah,
Which
I would
was
think
amazing.
everybody wants this job. Teaching kids in the summer how to improvise must be a very rewarding experience.
I remember calling Ted going, "Can I be your assistant? You know, if I can get up there and just hang out, you know, I would love to do that."
Yeah.
And it never panned out, but...
Tell me about the grounds. When you say going there, it's a camp, right? You're actually going away to a camp.
And it's in Parry Sound, and it's a large area, and they have cabins and, you know, bunk bed cabins and all that. And
So you go up for the 5 days or 9 days or whatever it is.
yeah,
You're up there
it's-
for the full time.
Yeah, it starts August 18th to the 25th. So we would audition the kids on the Sunday, place them, and then it starts right then and there. Sunday night is the faculty concert. And then,
So when you audition kids, you audition to make sure they have some musical skill, or do you just audition them to figure out which program they should be in?
level. Yeah, auditioning the level, because I believe there's 5 big bands this year, and then combos, and then I'm doing drum workshop, and then there's like a music education, like listening party, some theory, and like basically you're going to university for 5 days
Right.
and having a great time. You can canoe, you can do water.
And for under
water sports.
$1,000, parents can let their kids go somewhere, get an education, and not see them for a week.
That's right. Yes.
I don't mean it to sound bad. People call me Uncle Vasectomy because I don't have any kids. But I imagine that's a really nice thing for parents to go, my kids are getting an education, they're in a safe environment, and it's all about music.
And for me, my kids, Jackson and Emma, get to go. So Emma's going to go to the rock camp. And it's Dave Patel. Do you know Dave Patel? He's a drummer here in Toronto. He plays like the Broadway shows and stuff, and like,
Some of the Mervis shows in the book and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the other drummer, Michelle, he plays with Buffy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's coming from Vancouver. I met Michelle up in Whitehorse. Super cool dude. So I kind of want to hang out in the rock camp.
Right, you want to go back and forth.
I know those guys, so...
Well, rock and jazz get along, though, right? As far as genres of music go, especially prog rock, but rock in general, they're open to how good jazz musicians are.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I want to hear Dave and Michelle play also.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it'll be fun, teaching Jackson and going through the jazz camp with him, and then just kind of scooting over whenever I have some time off and see what Emma's doing.
Do you know? Do all kids have the songwriting course, or do some people get sound engineering and some stick with the band? How much overlap is there with a course?
At the IMC?
Yeah.
I believe the jazz camp is just a performance, and I think there might be a composition, sort of a hint.
Right, but someone might go
competition.
just for songwriting. That's their thing, right? Is to
Yeah.
go to a camp
Yeah.
just for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is more performance based, and I think it's great that the kids that are coming up are going to meet other kids from everywhere in Canada, really.
That's right. Now I notice Adrian Ferrugia and Sophia Perlman are on the teachers list.
They are.
Have you worked with either of those?
I have.
Yeah?
Yes, more Adrian than Sophia, but I worked with Sophia when we did Avery Raquel's second album.
They wrote a song together.
Yeah.
A very good
So
song.
Sophia was coaching her, and Sophia was in the studio when we were doing that.
Yeah.
She's just wonderful.
Yeah, so there's a great example. Avery Raquel, who is just turning 18 pretty soon, but she's already put out 3 records, and you've already played with her a whole bunch, right?
That's right. That's right. And then Jackson's playing with her also.
So what's the thing that you want kids to walk away from? What's the main thing you want them to walk away from after lessons with you or after a week of learning?
Performance confidence. Not to be scared to jump up and dive in.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Not to say, oh my God, he sounds so amazing, I can't play after him, like at a jam session or something. It's everybody, group hugs, love everywhere.
Right.
It's all
Dive
about
in.
just diving in, playing, and hearing the bigger fish in the small pond, right?
Yep.
And getting ideas from them, and also with the more advanced guys, seeing how great these young people are coming up, right?
Right. It works for both.
Yeah.
It inspires older people to say, hey, this music's going to keep going.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it certainly inspires kids
Yes.
to actually spend a week
Yeah.
with like-minded people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I keep talking about Jackson now, but Jackson, he's wanted to go for a long time, and it just didn't work out time-wise with our schedules in the summer. And with me working here, I'm there, so I'm like, you guys have to come. And he's so excited. His Jazz FM friends are coming up, and he's going to meet lots of people. Emma's going to meet all these rock kids. It's going to be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you'll post some pictures, and I wish you luck. We've been showing it on the background, but it's campimc.ca is where you will find the information.
Yep.
Awesome. Have a great summer, and I look forward to hearing more when you get back.
Thanks, James.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah.
Well. Shoeless Joel Haynes, thank you very much. Next week, Heather Luckhart is going to be here. I call her Lucky Luckhart. She's going to be here to talk about all the things that go on in her brain, a lot about music, but also about some of the other interesting projects she's been involved with in the last while. So join me next week for another edition of the Jaymz Bee Podcast. Thank you to JJ Brown, my producer. And again, if you want to sponsor this, if you want to say hello, you can find me at Patreon. See ya.